Okay, that was the wrong intro. That was the night intro. But this is the morning, and welcome. Every day we rise is a great day to be alive, and welcome to Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning show, not the evening show with featuring Leah. This is the morning show featuring the Colonel. But anyway, good morning, everyone. I'm Slim Overton, and we are here with the Colonel, who is the host, moderator, and co-host, Leah Drake Stitt.
Yes.
And we also have returning is one of the fan favorites, Wesley Van, who is guest host this morning. So thank you for agreeing to come on, Wesley. It's been a while, so thanks for being here. The topic this morning is let's give some thanks. So, Colonel, before you take over, I think we heard this before, but I'll play a little bit of this.
Thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for every moment that led to this day. Thank you for the hard times. They made me appreciate the good times. Thank you for the lessons. They were needed for my development. Thank you for my eyes that get to witness the miracles of today and tomorrow. Thank you for everything I take for granted. Thank you for all of my blessings. Thank you for my drive. Thank you for my spirit. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for giving me the courage.
God, we lost James.
Oh. Yeah, they're fancy.
We back on, James? Slim?
He was giving gratitude there.
Yeah.
That's gratitude. My dog.
Internet.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I've watched that. Denzel has a lot of good shorts on the internet.
Does. Yes. He does.
Mm-hmm.
So Denzel want us to continue.
Okay.
Well, I guess we can. What do you think, Leah?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yes. Okay. So Wesley, I'll let you. Oh, there he is.
Back. Yeah, I'm out the picture. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll Wesley, before I let you in, I'm gonna give you my thanks since Denzel gave that wonderful short on what he's thankful for. And I might be tainted because of my military service and service to this country. And I am thankful for to be given another day, health and family. But I'm also thankful for 74,327,659 people that voted for democracy in this last election. And on the other side, because I'm tainted, I'm a realist, I am thankful for the other 76,838,984 people that voted for Trump, because they have really reestablished my belief that this is a racist country. They have reestablished my belief that white supremacy owns this country. And they've also established that whatever happens in the next 4 years, or if we have another election, that they will hurt. And America is about to get what they have voted for. And we need to get out of the way and let all the damage happen. And so those Democrats that are, especially in the Senate, that are already capitulating, Chuck Schumer needs to go, because he's cut a deal to get a half a handful of district judges through. He's going to give up 4 appellate seats, which is a higher court. He is basically saying he's giving up the farm. He's saying that the Democratic senators are weak. So that's another piece there on the news piece. So, and I'm also thankful for the 774,000 folks that voted for Jill Stein, because you also are lumped in all with the Trump supporters. Because if you'd have spread those 700-something thousand people around, we would not have a sex abusing white nationalist coming to be y'all's president. You remember I'm saying y'all's new president. So I'll turn this over to Wesley. So now you know where I'm going down, and I got more, but I'm trying to cut it off, because I know come January 20th, we won't have any more free speech, and First Amendment goes out the window.
Yeah, Colonel, I totally agree. Lynn is writing an op-ed piece for either the Wall Street or the New York Times or somebody, anyway, or MSNBC, if they still be in existence. That it gives that same number that you give, that 74 million versus the 76. And she found that it was only a 2.5 million voter difference between the two. And when you equate Kennedy and those folks that were down at the bottom, they collected exactly 2.5 million votes.
Exactly.
And so it ended up being that little piece actually worked Republican Party at that time. Now, I agree with you, Doc. I'm thankful for the fact that I was able, and I'll be in the history book saying that to my grandchildren, I'll be able to say, I voted in the last election that the United States had.
Yeah.
But I'm truly hoping and praying, and I'm thankful enough to that my upbringing, my foundation says that we serve a greater God, and he's going to come in and he's going to let, he gave us free will, and America has chose its free will.
It did.
And she's decided that she is, as Martin Luther King said, they're going to put that check back out there again. And it's definitely going to have insufficient funds from one that everybody says is a great businessman. They come up with that, I don't know. But there was a video that was out on social media that I found and sent to a lot of people. And it was this young Asian kid sitting talking to this elder white man. And he said, you've always talked about facts, and you believe in facts, and facts has been there for you, and you always weigh in on the side of what the truth and the facts are. He said, but you voted for Donald Trump. Why would you vote for somebody that his campaign was based on nothing but humility, but emotion and lies?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, I voted for Trump for one reason, and one reason only. And that's because I like his policy, or if he's got a policy, on immigration. because when you start letting people into these United States, the white people, and this is exact words, the white people will be diminished. We are getting out of it. So in order to save us, we had to vote like that. He said, we didn't, and this, I love this. He said, we didn't build it. My ancestors didn't build this country to give it away. And so the little Asian boy said, y'all didn't build anything. It was the slaves. It was the African Americans. It was. He said my people came over here and built the railroad track. So you're not stating facts on that. Beautiful piece. Go to my Facebook page. You can find that on there. But it's the other thing I tell you I'm thankful for is that I grew up in the city of Portsmouth, Virginia during the 50s and 60s.
Amen.
Because I've already been to where this country is going. I grew up under Jim Crow laws.
That's right.
I grew up under Jim Crow laws, so I already know what they're going to do. I've been there till I couldn't go to McDonald's and order a cheeseburger. And it didn't even exist, but I just could. If it was, I couldn't have gone there at the time. I've been there when I had to use the colored-only facilities that were there. When we were colored, though, maybe this is one of God's answers to us, because we doing all this Megan Thee Stallion and all this booty shaking and fighting and shooting. Maybe some kind of way God is telling us, you remember where you came from.
Amen.
And I brought you out of that. And now you turning around and trying to go back. Well, be careful now, Black folks. Because at any point in time, it happened in 1870. I was able and thankful that I read the story of the watermelon.
Yes.
And the watermelon came in from Africa. And at one point, I've got a painting by Clementine Hunter in my living room that is a painting of a watermelon. And I'm like, well, why would she paint a watermelon? A watermelon slice. And I found out that it is the watermelon. The pictures and sculptures of watermelons that you see were pictures of prosperity. They symbolize prosperity, because the women that got those watermelon seeds, they brought them in their hair. And when they were freed in 1865, they started planting these watermelons. They've been planting them all along, but they started selling them and became millionaires down here in the South, down in Alabama and Mississippi and Georgia. Well, 1870, the white folks said, well, no, how they get to be rich like that? Because they couldn't stop some of the Congress people, the Black Congress people that were getting in there, because they were being financed by these people selling these watermelons. Your 2B Watson, Mr. Watson Portsmouth. And then they turned it around and created a stereotype. And said that by eating watermelon, Black folks don't do nothing but sit around lazy, they don't work, and they eat watermelon and chicken all day. And what was at one time a sign of prosperity, by 1934, they had turned it into a total stereotype till we bought in on it and said, Lord, if I eat watermelon, when I move to the new neighborhood, in Cavalier Manor, I'm going to have to eat watermelon in the backyard where can't nobody see me. I live in the heart of Newt Gingrich's neighborhood. Newt is one of my neighbors. I'm going to eat my watermelon on the front porch, okay? But, on a personal note, though, what I really am thankful for, too, though, 15 years ago, on October 31st, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I had a colon cancer. And had been given 15 minutes to live. And I was like, 45 minutes to live. And I was like, how could you? I said, how long do I have? He said, well, you got 45 minutes. And I said, no, I'm not talking about to make a decision whether I'm going to have the surgery or not. But if I don't have the surgery, how long will I have to live? And he said 45 minutes to an hour, like I told you. What's happening? You have a tumor and it's attached to your bladder and your pelvic bone. And every time you walk and take a step, it opens your bladder. You'll be dead by the time you get to your car. It was Halloween night. I said, well, trick or treat, let's get the business up there. And they elaborate. But I'm here 15 years later from that 45 minutes that I was given. So that tells me, and I'm truly thankful for it. And when I heard Donald Trump tell his people that if you vote for me now, this will be the last time that you're gonna have to vote ever.
Mm-hmm.
I serve a bigger person than that. I
Yes,
serve
Lord.
a bigger God
Yes.
than that. And I'm not that stuck with me, and it hit me to my core because being friends with John Lewis, it's hard to have walked with him and then understand what he stood for, and for one of the things which was voting, which must be important because the largest block of voters are the non-voters.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that they work so hard to keep from voting. You tell them that that's the last time they're going to vote. Well, most of them say, well, what am I going to vote for now anyway?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the piece we're going to, Mississippi could be the Black Mecca of the South.
Yeah.
The city of Jackson is 80% Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the capital.
Mm-hmm.
The state as a whole is 68% Black. But everything, the governors, the mayors, now they do have a Black mayor in Jackson now. He's old Tuskegee graduate, matter of fact. That young man, he's in a battle. But at least he's there. And that's one of the things I'm gonna try to work on in the next 4 years is to see if we some kind of way can get Mississippi to be one of the battleground states.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a wealth of votes that's sitting up in there. It's a gold mine, and nobody's paying no attention. The Republicans are not, because they know that most of those Black folks. I think we done learned that lesson this time, fellas. I think we done learned that you can't trust everything that them people gonna tell you.
Amen. And forget those polls.
They sat there and got snowed by a check that they thought that Trump gave them. When they got them, a lot of young folks here, they were saying, yeah, the stimulus check that we got that, and I'm living better than. No, baby, that was Nancy Pelosi
Mm-hmm.
and Hoyer and all them boys up there in Congress that got the money out and because Trump didn't want to do it. And then he wanted to put his name on the check.
Exactly.
You get it? And so to stop that, they made a direct deposit. It was just that simple. So yeah, I've got a lot to be thankful for. But those two things, I'm glad that I grew up in a time so that when they start this desegregation, the de-integration, I guess, and getting back to Jim Crow laws, I can tell my grandchildren, just stand for a minute. We've been here before. We've been on this battleground, and we go. What scares me are the young folks between about the ages of 18 and 30.
Mm-hmm.
They're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because they are the purest of integration. They've been going to school with white folks since they were babies. They were born in a hospital beside each other. Unlike me, up in Maryview, I was in a separate room by myself on October 13, 1952. And one other little girl, there was another little Black girl, and I finally met her one day. She was working at Bank of America there on Frederick Boulevard. But it was just us. And then I don't think I had a white teacher until about my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Exactly.
and I hear these young folks between the ages of 18 and 30 saying, I never had a Black teacher until the 10th grade. My God, I didn't even know white folks could teach. So it's one of those things that we have got to keep the story going. We have got to keep it. Let folks know that we've been here. You know, I hear a lot of people now. That's what everybody said. Let's like you just said, Colonel, earlier. You know, we're gonna sit back. Whatever we do, we don't need to give this man any provocation to sit back and try to call the military out, because if you start marching after January 20th, you're gonna get shot.
You're gonna get that's right.
You're gonna get shot. That's his plan. That's what he wants to do. And then that's gonna give him an excuse to say we're in peril and I'm gonna suspend the Constitution. And once that's suspended, it'll never come back in like that. He studied Andrew Jackson and Johnson very well. He studied. He's learned. They say he's a dumb rascal, but he's got some people behind him that understand what's going on. Because I don't think that boy can tie his shoes. They're going to do better there than tell him. But that's where I am, and that's how I feel about it. That's what I'm thankful for, the experience of growing up under Jim Crow, and so that now I've got the strength to stand in the gap and kick another door in if I need to do it. Like we saved Norcom and we saved Portsmouth, actually.
Amen.
So
Amen.
we'll see.
How about you, Leah?
Well, I tell you, Wesley has preached a sermon this morning. I didn't get to church yesterday, but Wesley has preached that sermon this morning. And what a sermon he has preached. You know, Wesley, I'm kind of in your neighborhood now. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I am exceptionally happy that I did grow up during Jim Crow era. I'm happy that I'm prepared for whatever they bring forth, because we have proven through time infinitum that we have the fortitude to make it over and beyond whatever they bring before us. Now, my concern again, Wesley, just as you, are those 18 to 30-year-olds who have not a clue. This is what happens when you don't know your history.
Right.
You don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's where we are now with these young people. These young people do not have a concept of what happened with when we were living under segregated laws. They don't understand what it was like. But those of us who've been through it, we know what it's like. And it's up to us now to guide these young people, because they're going to need our guidance, because they're not going to know how to handle it. You know, I think about, you know, when we had the financial crisis and white folks were jumping off the buildings and what have you because they couldn't deal with it, you know. But we always had what we needed to take us through. But I'm fearful for our children. I'm really fearful for our children because they will probably be in the same boat as some of those whites were when we experienced that financial crisis. They would not know which direction to go in. But we have what we need. We have what we need because of the Israel Charles Norcom and Norcom High School, S.H. Clark Junior High School, where we had teachers who poured into us our history and the knowledge of who we are and what we can be. And so we're very grateful that a man born 9 years before slavery ended could have the audacity to dream that he could build a school, a place for Negro boys and girls where they can learn that they can live an abundant life. I'm thankful for those individuals. I'm thankful for all those teachers who took the time to nourish us, to pour into us, and to let us know that they cared about us, and they saw us as their children, and they wanted for us what our parents wanted for us. I'm thankful for those welcome students who sat in those counters there at Woodworth to join the sit-in movement so that we could have the right to go in to eat into these places. So, I mean, we have been through a lot as a people. We have gained a lot as a people. Recently, we lost a lot as a people because of the young people. But I think it's up to us to work with them to help them to know that, to know their history and to understand their history and to know what's ahead for them. Because right now, they're going to be lost with some of the things that are going to take place in this country. They're not going to, you know, it takes me back to a young man that I knew who had gone to white schools all his life. He had gone to the best schools. His parents had made sure that he had the best of everything, and he went on to medical school, and he went to the best medical school that you could possibly go to, had the best grades that you could have coming out of the school. And when he went for his internship, he went for an internship up against someone who was less qualified than he was. But that person that's qualified got that internship. And he couldn't understand it. He couldn't understand it because he had not been prepared for what America truly is. He had not been prepared. So he was lost. He was lost and lost all hope for what he could do in his life because he was not prepared. So we have to prepare our children. It's up to us to prepare these young people, to let them see what a mistake they have made. And they're going to feel it. And they're going to feel it sooner than they expect to feel it. Believe me. It's gonna come down. I'm just.
I can't wait to ask him, how's that working for you right now?
Amen. 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 So, you know, those who voted for him, you're going to find out what he's truly like. You know, and the sad part about it is they got a president who, I listen to this daily prayer station every morning. I do my devotionals every morning. And the man was on there selling advertisement of a person who's becoming the president of the United States, selling golden sneakers and selling guitars. I had to change. I had to go to a new prayer channel because I could not believe that they were advertising for this guy to sell these items on this prayer channel. So yeah, it's gonna be a rude awakening for America.
Yes.
But you know what? I'm kind of thankful. As you said, Wesley, I'm kind of thankful because hopefully it's going to help our young people to wake up and to realize that they truly are moving in the wrong direction and help them to understand that there's so much more for them to gain if they just sit down and learn their history, and if they sit down and really pay attention to what's going on in America and not deal with all of the superficial things that they deal with at this time. So
And Leah, I'm glad you and Wesley brought up the part about education and I.C. Malcolm as we approach 70 years since the Board of Brown versus Board of Education. And you see where we are with that now. And it was kind of encouraged locally here and throughout the United States when they started realizing that it wasn't, we shouldn't be naming schools after races, you know, and the enforcement, they changed Woodrow Wilson, they dropped that. John Tyler, and throughout Hampton Roads, they did some other things, you know, and you saw some gains being happening as far as that was concerned. And then here we are where we are now. But I'm thankful, you know, for, you know, the local people you mentioned, James Harley, Judge James Overton, Big Boy Turner, those people that paved the way and made it, you know, that's where we get our strength from, you know, to carry on. It was disappointing to see what happened, but I'm still thankful for those people, you know, those national people like Fannie Lou Hamer, you know, Dorothy Height, you know, all those people in entertainment that made those sacrifices, and those people that got caught by the water hoses, those people that were out there on the ground, you know, and that's why we have to continue what we do on this show, telling that history and making sure, and hopefully other people will continue to tell that history. And if it's not taught in school, teach it at home, teach it at the Y, you know, form little groups, study groups, and make sure your children know that. Because the only way we're going to be able to move on and move on with some hope is to know where we came from. And I think you all made those points. So Wesley, you talked about, you know, coming up, and I'm right with you, seeing those signs colored only. Going to Mosbury, our favorite place, and having to go in the back door to get fed. You know, but to us, that was the norm.
Exactly.
That was the norm. But I'm thankful for having the opportunity to go through that. So we can see now and we can tell people, I was there, I went through that. So
That's right.
you need to
Yeah.
listen to me, and
Mhm.
because I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I'm
Mm-mm.
talking straightforward out the front of my mouth, telling you what I experienced
Can't
and
Google this.
how I'm thankful for it. So that's what I'm thankful
Mhm.
for. I'm thankful for our history, and
Amen.
that history needs to be continuously told and passed down like they did in Africa, Leah. And
That's right.
you've been there. They still probably sitting
Real.
around in little circles, passing down that history
That's
from
that
word
Yes,
of
history.
sir.
mouth,
The
which
Mhm.
Rio.
you can't get a better history than hearing it from the people that have been there,
Exactly.
that
That's right.
experienced it, or their parents experienced it. We
Exactly.
Mhm.
That's
weren't in
right.
slavery, but we feel it. We can feel it, indeed. So I'm just thankful for being here and having the opportunity to move forward. At 70 years old, it's not over yet. I still got a lot of things to do in order to make
Mhm.
sure we continue to hope and lift our next generation up and get them involved, not fight against them, get them
Mm-mm.
involved, work with them.
Revive. And James, for all these organizations that are out here with youth organizations and all I'm focusing on athletics, basketball and football, put a little knowledge in those sessions too. It's okay to focus on recreational type things, but put a little history in the heads. You can inject a little history into the heads of those children as well. So as
Mhm.
you're focusing on sports, teach them their history. It's important that they know. That's why we are in the boat that we're in today, is because they don't have a sense of history. They don't have a knowledge of what is taking place. They say, oh, that was the olden day. Oh, that can't happen again. Oh, yes, it can. And
Yes,
you're
it
going to
Mm,
can.
see soon, very soon,
mm,
very, very soon.
mhm.
But it makes me feel good for those of us who've been through, because at first, after the election, I was stressing. I was stressing. I mean, for a whole week, I was under stress. I've never been stressed as I
I
was
think we all were.
that election. But you didn't. I thought about it. I said, you know one thing? We've been through worse things, and we
Yes,
Mhm.
made it
sir.
through. And we made it through,
We made it
and we
through.
can make it through this too.
Hmm.
Well, I will tell you, come January 20th at 12 o'clock, 2025, when this crook, this mob boss, takes the oath of office, and I'm hoping the Bible don't burst up in flames. He touches, because it'll probably be the only second Bible that he has ever touched or read,
Yeah.
or he never read it, with his 2 Corinthians or whatever he said. The lights of
2
America,
Corinthians.
the lights of America turn off. And we
Yeah.
talk about that young group of 18 to 30-year-olds. They are going, for them to wake up, they have to suffer. America has to suffer. That's the only way we can get this country back, because they have to see what they did. And so, saying that, Wesley, you talked about Mississippi and the 80% or 60% being Black. But in Mississippi, Arkansas, and those states were in the deep, in Louisiana, even though they're majority Black, but they still have the mindset of slavery. They know
Thank you, Lynette.
yeah, they know, if you got out and voted in mass and did what you're supposed to do, they could turn those states around.
Hmm.
You know that you've been
Hmm.
last, tied for last in education, childhood poverty, labor, and all the metrics that we measure across, and wealth, and all those statistics. They always run for last, but they stay home. They stay home, and the same senators and representatives run to Washington and talk that stuff. We're going to do something for you. You stay home, and that's why they stay in power. That's why you don't get your piece of the pie.
Hmm.
So,
That's
but when
exactly
they
right.
do something for the pie, it's nothing to help them. And then but they have to hurt, and they have to wake up. You talked about the Mayor Jackson. You know, he really doesn't even own the Jackson, Mississippi, doesn't even have the real power because the state has taken a lot of the power away from him. Yeah.
They control it.
Yeah, and controls it. So he's a figurehead. And that is how we do things because we stay home. And I think, Wesley, you talked about the stereotype because Democrats and we as a people are scared to say the truth. You talk about every time these folks on the other side talk about, bring up the subject of DEI, affirmative action, and we don't need to explain what it is. You just need to say you're a racist. We're scared to say that word.
Right.
We are scared to say that word because you white supremacists want to destroy. We got this soundbite and don't even know what DEI stands for or what affirmative action. How good has it been to uplift people of color, and the majority of them are white women have benefited from affirmative action. So when they destroy it, and so these white women that jumped on the side of the mob boss and these white supremacy agents that he's putting in office, when you start hurting, can't get those government contracts, and all your rights are gone, but been flushed down the toilet, then you need to hurt too, and then you'll start looking at that. Here's the other thing too. We talk about education. I think that with this election, we need to also, with our kids and grandkids and great grandkids, if you have them, is to have the talk. You need to have the talk now, because, and when I talk the talk, you know, when you are stopped by this white cop or by the police, what to do. Hands on the wheel. If you got your cell phone or whatever, you call somebody to come get a witness there. You also call and you ask for the desk sergeant to come in here. Roll down your window part of the way and you say right away, what have I done? What are you accusing me for? I do not consent for search and seizure to look at my car. And I will not answer any questions without a lawyer present. And then you ask to say, make sure you see the badge. And you also say, is your camera working? And you ask that a couple times, because if the camera is not working, then you run the risk of not getting out of this situation. You run your risk of being shot and killed for a $5 light bulb that's out, or just because you were driving in a car that you shouldn't be driving because they think that if you have a nice car, you're a drug dealer.
Right.
But you need to have the talk.
Right.
Drive 5 miles below the speed limit. Don't go over the white line at all. You can't give them any excuse to pull you over, because that might be the last time they pull you over.
Who knew?
Yes.
Who knew?
Yes.
Who knew?
Yes.
And I think also, as we pull strength from our history, our rich history, and the things that are going on, I also want to thank the people that voted the way they did, although we knew what the deal was. But it opened up, like Colonel was saying, it opened up a lot of people's eyes, or it will open up a lot of people's eyes that will have to go through that. But also, we're thankful for family, you know, along with the history, because family is what solely keeps us together. And as we go into this season, most of us will be with our families, and that what an opportunity to tell our younger generations to give those history lessons. You know, sometimes we miss out on those opportunities when we have those family gatherings. We just talk about, like Leah mentioned, we talk about the sports, and that's important. And I also want to challenge the coaches. When you out there coaching those kids, it's a lot of people in sports that made sacrifices in order for your kids to even be playing sports. So when you're teaching those X's and O's, sort of throw in some of that history about some of the sacrifices that were made by sports figures that made it possible for you to even be playing today. So there's so many things we can do to counter what's going to happen next year. We're gonna have to live through it. We're gonna have to be here, but we're gonna have to be proactive in what we do going forward and making sure that history is taught and making sure we stay close to family and make sure we appreciate what we have going forward.
Yeah. But Slim, you also talk about the athletes. We also need the athletes to come out and take a stand for once.
Right.
Because they are on that 0.05% that have made it to the NFL, have made it to basketball, NBA or whatever. They need to, when they go out and talk to these young kids, talk about what is a better way. You have a higher chance of being a doctor, lawyer, or a plumber or whatever than you do bouncing that ball or running that ball.
Exactly.
And yes, and at the end of the day, I am I saw it on TV. I am Tyrod. I use him as an example. I am Tyrod Taylor. Went to Virginia Tech. I'm back here giving out turkeys once a year, and that's the only time I'm going to do something for society. Or I might give some free tennis shoes out because I got Nike contract. Nothing's coming out of my pocket now, but it's just part of the shoe contract that I got. But you have to explain to these young kids and saying, at the end of the day, I'm still a black man. I might be a rich, multimillionaire black man, but I run the same risk that I just talked about, the talk.
Mm-hmm.
The talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had one of the greatest opportunities growing up when because my grandma, my mother's mother, Miss Mamie Sawyer, was from New Bern, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe they had the bus at the school one time because every summer I would have to go down there, and they had trailways to come by Mount Hermon Elementary School and take me down there as quick as they could because they got me out of town. But my great-grandfather, my grandmother's mother and father were still living. And they were not, I look back over and over the years, and I wish as a 10-year-old I had been more astute. They were born in slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the opportunity with my great-grandfather to sit on the front porch with him sometimes and watch the young people go by. And I can remember in 1959, 7 years old, this little guy named was Sweet Daddy Stovepipe. And I don't know if y'all remember this fashion, but this is when they wore khaki pants starched with the crease and everything down it.
Yes.
Had on Stacey Adams shoes with the threads that were clean as they could be, and the toe was popped. But right at the back, at the crack of their behinds, you could just see right where their hips started. And great-granddaddy said, look at that. You see what they doing? He didn't call it sagging because that term hadn't come up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He said they got the pants hanging around their hips like that. If they only knew where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, where did it come from, great-granddaddy? He said, well, what happened? During slavery, when I was a little boy, and Uncle Jude lived right behind him, he said, when we were little boy living on the plantation, the little funny slave masters would have sex with the young slave boys. And they were required to wear their pants hanging around their hips so that the other slave masters that were gay would understand and knew that they had been what they call being bucked, B-U-C-K. They had been bucked, and then they could go to them. So this is why Florida and Texas and Oklahoma don't want that taught in the schools.
That's right.
Because they know that if we start talking about that rich history that we have, and they survived that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we survived. We came through what we came through. And so they're trying, that's why they're getting rid of the Department of Education. And this is why that's going to hurt schools like Norfolk State and Virginia State.
Oh yeah.
Union will probably survive. Howard will survive. Tuskegee will survive. Fisk, if they can, they will survive. Your state schools are going to be the ones, especially in the deeper South, down here in Georgia. They're going to be the ones affected the most. And, so we're going to have to go back and thank God that we had a foundation that was laid for us at Mount Hermon Temple and Ebenezer and Third Baptist. We're doing Vacation Bible School. You heard some of the stories of the great Black leaders and inventors. Sunday school, they would tell the stories on what happened. So we're gonna steal a chapter out of the book of Jude. Okay, because the Jews always, if you go to one of their synagogues, you see their history all through there. And and the Holocaust and all that, because they say the same thing, Leah. If you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it.
That's right.
And America has forgotten that. America has forgotten her history. But see, race is a construct. You can't define race. Race is just something that it ain't got nothing to do with color. It ain't got nothing to do with nationality. It got nothing to do with ethnicity. All race is a construct to make one group of people over another.
That's right. Power. It's all about power.
That's all it is. And the good thing about this Trump organization is that they're a pack of thieves. And there is no honor among thieves.
And
they will implode. And if
they are going to implode, they are going to implode.
Because there's too many egos out there.
There you go.
Nobody gives a rat's ass about the country. None of them. They could care less what America does. For them, it's all about the dollar bill. And that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Because if you have no character, they're gonna hurt each other. What that boy named Musk, Alvin, he and JP Vance together, they gonna implode against each other. Trump is really nothing. He's just a figurehead. He's a front man for them. Everybody else, Miller and Musk.
He's already upset with Musk. Because Musk is getting too much attention. He's already upset with him.
He getting more. See, that's how they are. I'm getting more publicity than anybody. I'm in charge now. Must have been over there talking to Putin. Now, how we gonna handle that? Trump said you can't do that. No, and so that's the pretty thing about this. You get back in the way. Like you said, Colonel. Just stay out the way. Just don't get in that fray with them because they're gonna hurt each other.
Hopefully they'll
pass the first year in office.
Hopefully they'll burn internally. Hopefully they'll burn internally because there's too many egos in there. Everyone he has appointed has a big ego, and nobody has a bigger ego or is a bigger narcissist than Trump. So he's not going to have anybody outshining him. So hopefully they'll burn internally, and while they're doing that, we need to be playing chess instead of checkers.
Exactly.
That's right.
And we need not help. We can, the people in the Senate, the Democrats in the Senate, and the Democrats in the House need to get together and vote as one, just like the Republicans have done. They vote, even if the bill says we're going to march off the cliff. They will vote and march off the cliff. But they always said no. That's why Obama had problems and Biden's had a problem. All the good stuff that they passed have been voted or passed just by party alone. But we need to do the same. And those turncoats that vote with the Republicans, take them out in the mix. You don't just put them in exile. We don't need them anymore. And you have to be able to let the country fail. If they can't pass spending bills and have to shut down the government because they have the right to do it. They own all three branches of service of the government. Let it fail. When they gut FEMA, let them gut FEMA. But when the hurricanes, and we're hoping the hurricanes come through and
And
hit
they're gonna come.
Florida
And they're gonna come.
and all that, well, we don't need to have another appropriation. You got all the money you already passed. Say no to everything like they did. And we have to let it happen. It has to let it happen, because we keep, like Wesley, you talked about that stimulus check they got. When you do something good, they hold it against you. So now you ain't gonna, in 4 years, if we have another election, and I've already made my prediction what's going to happen with that, because Laura Trump is going to be running for president in 28.
Because she's trying to take the position in Georgia now.
Yeah, well, in Florida, she'll be the senator from Florida. That's running right. As the that's if Trump is still alive, because he's starting to fail now. Age. So hopefully, he may go to bed one night, and that's all. Then this
but
night.
The sad thing about it, Colonel, with that is that if he go to bed and that happens, we got J.D. Vance, and J.D. Vance is worse than Trump. He's a smooth Trump,
Yeah. But it still has to hurt. If he has to come in and do his thing and hurt America even more, let it hurt. Sometimes you got to take the spanking.
Well, America.
Yeah, you took the spanking in November.
Yeah. But those young folks and some of these folks that voted, these 76 million people that voted for him, plus the Jill Stein and the people that voted other, they all have to hurt. The country has to fail for us to get this country back, for people to wake up and says, oh, we need to do something different.
Well, when you have the fear of losing your whiteness, you see, that's all this is. Like I said before, that's all this is about. And that's the greatest commodity in the world.
That's why
it's the whiteness of white America. They sell it, they make money off of it, they do everything they can, and that is the greatest commodity. No diamonds, no gold, just my whiteness.
That's right.
And everybody wants to be coming to this country. They're coming from the south border, the north border, from the eastern shores all the way to the west coast. When any immigrants come in, they want to be like the people that are in charge, and the people so they emulate them, and they all try to be like white folks, and then all of a sudden they learn who they really are. And they're gonna learn even more now. They're gonna learn that the little Mexican folks that voted for Trump, the Latinos for Trump, when them army boys come knocking on your door and take your mama out of that house, what you gonna do? I want to say to you, remember, you voted for it.
Yeah,
this is what you voted for.
Yeah, and there's nobody to help you. Nobody there to help you. When they come for you, who are you going to call?
Exactly.
Nobody.
So that's the reason why they want to. That's the reason for taking away abortions and taking away women being able to get birth control, is because they're trying to multiply these numbers as best they can.
Yeah,
they losing the numbers.
That's exactly
right. They losing the numbers, baby. They got to get it back.
Got to get it back. That's right.
So and before we go, I have to be thankful for us having 2 Black senators in the Senate now. Lisa Blunt, Rochester, and Angela also Brooks in the Senate now, even though we don't have the Senate. And thank God for our Congress ladies that are there. You know, right now, they're the only ones that are speaking up, speaking truth to power, and challenging all those people on those committees that they sit on that feel like they can say anything they want to say and let it ride. And these ladies are challenging them, putting them in their place. So we need more of that. We need the men to speak up, and put these guys in their place. Even though we don't have the majority, but you can have a majority voice and make sure you are heard and let them know where you're coming from. speaking
Exactly.
truth to power. So I'm thankful for that and having those two ladies in the Senate and the ladies that are in the Congress and the men too. But I'm looking for more from you guys coming up in the new year to speak up and don't hold back because you feel it might hurt you in your district. I mean, you have to speak up, even though you're in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
What you got to lose?
That's right.
Yep. As we reach the 8 o'clock time limit here, that we put that, we'll have a few words, and I'll start off with you, Wesley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm quite pleased and thankful as to where we're going. I think our people, as we've started out from the 1950s and 60s and before then, we've been given the bricks. That's one great thing about Tuskegee is that the first buildings were built. Not only did the students build the building, but they also made the materials, the bricks and the mortar that was used to build those buildings. They made that as well. And that gives me that foundation to know that no matter what you throw at me, the city is, we sat there, got spit on, water thrown at us. That Trey was talking about the marches in Birmingham. We've been here. And all we have to do now is to just hold on. And to quote Trump, which I rarely do, stand down and stand by.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be permanent. This little thing, because corruption is awful and it never survives within itself. Truth is, it's like a diamond. No matter what you do to it, when it comes up, you wash it off and it's always clean. I believe the country that I live in, and I'm thankful for a country like this, even though it's never been a great America, and where they want to go back to make it great again, just tell the truth, make it white again.
That's it.
I believe that since our young folks have had a taste of freedom, and they feel that privilege that they have, that they are just as privileged as anybody else, that they're not going to let it happen. Your Jasmine, what's her last name?
Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett. You got a bunch of them up there. We got a bunch of them down here in the Georgia State Congress here. And I believe those kids, those are the ones now that they, like you said, Lil, they need our guidance.
They do.
But we need to go head on and let them do what they're gonna do, because we march, but I don't know if we can march anymore now. It's gonna take another tactic. We got to go another direction. But I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for all that we've done. I'm thankful for your show too, Slim. I really appreciate being able to have somewhere to talk about what we need to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you for being
here. Leah?
Well, I am in a total state of gratitude. And in fact, I recently started my gratitude journal. It's just amazing the things that we take for granted, that we see daily, that we don't realize that we need to give thanks for. I was riding down the highway the other day, and the sky was a beautiful, a red hue of the sky, and it was so beautiful. And I was grateful to be able to see that. I'm also grateful for my village. I have a village of people around me who are amazing. And I am so thankful for that village of people who have decided to be a part of my life. And I give gratitude to them. I'm grateful for my Norcom family. My Norcom family, I mean, there's none to compare. None to compare. A lady stopped me the other day and she said, "You know one thing? I don't know what this thing is about this Norcom High School, but it's a good thing and I want to be a part of it." So, I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for my family. They stand beside me through thick and thin. I'm thankful for them and all that they bring to the table. I'm thankful to James for bringing me on to Pour Some Coffee Talk with the Colonel and with Wesley and so many others of our hosts who join us periodically throughout the year. this has been a great venue for us to give back to the community. And I think it's important that we give back. We reach back and teach those who are coming behind us. So I'm just in a total state of gratitude this morning, and I'm going to stay in this state of gratitude even through the Trump era, because I know God is going to give us everything we need in order for us to make it through. We just have to sometimes just stop and stand still and listen to the message that he has for us. And he does have a message for us. And we have to take the time to listen and to follow the directions and the guidance that he would give us. So I'm just constantly in a state of gratitude.
And I want to thank the parents that brought me into this world and the ones that showed me the world. And I also
Amen.
want to thank the Portsmouth Coffee Talk, my family here, that we've been doing this for 5 or plus years, and we didn't let numbers dictate the content we present. We just keep going, and whoever we reach, that's who we reach. And we've had professionals up here, we've had experts, and we don't try to cover subjects that we don't know anything about or know little about. We bring on people that really know what they're talking about. So we make sure we're giving you information that you can take with you and bank on it. So I just appreciate being able to have this platform and to have the people to accept, like Wesley, to come on, from time to time and share their experiences. And sometimes we have fun, and that's good too. But our main purpose is to share information that might help somebody out there, and just to have that conversation. And conversation is good. If you don't have conversation, where would you be?
Exactly.
No understanding without conversation. That's what I always say. So I'm just thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the people that watch and contribute. We try to show their messages to us, and we appreciate you watching over the years and commenting. And we're going to continue to do this, no matter what situation the country is in. We're going to make sure that at some point we be in a good place.
Yeah, it's not much to say because the three of you have articulated very well my sentiments also. But I will say, and Wesley gave the frame quote from a mob boss, sexual abuser, Trump. Stand back, stand by. I think we're going to need another civil rights revolution and another Black nationalist movement to where we have to come together as a people to survive in the future. Because when the lights go off in January, and then we become the sole focus of a white nationalist, white supremacist government, we need to be able to circle the wagons and to look at a way forward. Part of that is, when we talk about money, is like I've already said that one, hold your dollars. Economics. When you hold your dollars, know where and you have to spend them. Spend them at places that support you. Spend them at don't spend your dollars at somewhere that's got a say a picture of Trump or a Confederate flag flying over that institution. They know that you support that kind of mess. I know for 4 years I won't go into another Latino Mexican restaurant. Because the majority, they turned on America. So I don't need to give not one penny to one of those restaurants. You won't see me in it. And I use that.
I agree.
And we also have to support our HBCU schools, because they've already said in Project 2025 that they are coming after them. They want to close them down. So we have to be wise on what we do in the future. And then so that's my commentary for the day. And I don't want to shut it down, before I go too far.
But Colonel, James,
Maybe next time.
James,
And remember,
James, before we shut down, I think that we need to pay homage to Dr. LaFrancis Rogers Rose.
Rogers.
Yes. James and I had the privilege of going to her ceremony on yesterday. She is a 1954 graduate of IC Norcom High School who went on to do some amazing things. And she did a lot of firsts in her lifetime. And she started the Black Women's International Congress. She was just an amazing woman who has given so much back to the community. So we want to celebrate her and celebrate the life that she lived, and just thankful that we were a part of her life. She was on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. She shared some great information while she was on Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And we just need to be thankful for the life that she's led and to share her information with those young people who are coming up behind her so that they can know all of the great things that she did.
Okay, everybody, thanks. And you see scrolling across the screen, our new website. It's another way you can go and check out our website, and it's another way you can donate to us along with the other ways. But check out our new website, and it gives you an opportunity to make comments. And of course, you can make any kind of donations that you would like. And I just want to say, have a happy holiday to everybody, and we'll see you next time.